Hello students, let's do decimal fractions exercise 4b. You're on page number 66 and we are with question 4. Find the difference between 6.85 and 0.685. Difference means you subtract. So when you subtract, remember, you put the greater number first. Now first thing you do is look at both these numbers and see which is the greater number. Okay, so whenever we compare decimal numbers, this is how we do. So let me write down these two numbers here for you. 6.85 and we have 0.685. So be careful how you read your numbers. So the first number here is 6.85 and this is 0.685. So when you check and see which number is greater, the first thing you need to do is look at the digit in the whole numbers place. So in the whole numbers place, here we have 6 and here we have 0. So you don't even have to go further, just look at the whole numbers place. 6 is greater than 0, that means this number is greater than this. So let's find the difference. Let's subtract by writing 6.85 first and below this 0.685. So the first step is that we arrange our numbers. Second step is we have to make them like decimals. Now the first number 6.85 has only 2 decimal places, whereas the second number has 3, 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So to make them like decimals, we have to add a 0 here so that this number also will have 3 decimal places. So let's add the 0. So now there are 3 decimal places. Let's begin our subtraction. 0 minus 5 you can't do, so we borrow from here. Now 10 minus 5 is 5. So let's write that. So that is 5. Then 4 minus 8 again you can't do. So we borrow from here. This is 7 and 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then here we have 6 minus 0, that is 6. So what is our answer? 6.165. Question 5. Take out the sum of 19.38 and 56.0625 from 200.111. So take out the sum. That means first we need to find the sum of these two numbers and take it out of this number. That means first add and then subtract it from this. So let's begin. 19.38. So let's first add that. 19.38 plus 56.025. So we're going to add up these two decimal numbers. Let's write a 0 there to make it like decimals. Now let's do normal addition. 0 plus 5 is 5. 8 plus 2 is 10, carry 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Then put the point. 9 plus 6 is 15, carry 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So now we've got 75.405. So we found the sum of these two numbers. Now we have to take the sum out from 200.111. That means we have to subtract. So let's write that 200.111 and minus 75.405. So these are like decimals, so we don't have to add any zeros. We can do normal subtraction. So let's begin. 1 minus 5 we can't do, so we're going to borrow from here. So this becomes 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. Then we have 0 minus 0. We put a 0 there. Then again we borrow from 2. We have to borrow all the way from 2. So this is 10 and 9. 10 and 9. And this becomes 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. Put the point there. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 7 is 2 and we have 1. So what do we have here? 124.706. So we need to write our final answer. Our final answer is the answer that we get second, that is 124.706. Question 6. Add this number and this number, and from the result, that means from the answer, subtract the sum of these two. So that means we need to add this first, then we need to add this and subtract the two answers. So let's begin. First thing is 13.95 and 1 point. So arrange it properly. 1.003. So we are going to add up these two numbers. Let's make them like decimals. 0. Now they are like decimals. Now 0 plus 3 is 3, 5, then we have 9, then we have 3 plus 1 is 4, and we have 1 here, 14.953. Now we have to find the sum of the other two numbers. So we have 2.794 plus 6.2, 6.2. So now we're going to add up these two numbers. So first, let's make them like decimals by putting the zeros there. Now let's do the addition. 4 plus 0 is 4. 9 plus 0 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. Put the point. 2 plus 6 is 8. So now we have two answers and we have to subtract that. Now subtract this answer from this answer. So let's write this down here. So this is 14.953. From this, we're going to minus 8.994. So let's do the subtraction. We're going to subtract. So here 3 minus 4 you can't do, so we borrow. So this becomes 13 minus 4, which is 9. Again, we can't work out 4 minus 9, so we're going to borrow from here. Now this is 14 minus 9. 14 minus 9 is 5. Borrow again. So here it is 3 and 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. Now let's put the point. Here we need to borrow again. So this is 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. So our final answer here is 5.959. So when we have many steps, the final answer will be what we get in the last step. Question 7. What should be added to this number to give this number? Okay, let's use a simple example for this. What should I add to 5? What should I add to 5 to give 7? What do you think I should add? 5 plus 2. We know the answer is 2, isn't it? Now, how can we get 2? If we subtract these two numbers, if I say 7 minus 5, I will get my answer, isn't it? Similarly here, what should I add to 39.587? What should I add to this to give me 80.375? Just like the example, we have to subtract these two numbers to get this answer. So let's subtract 80.375 first, and below this we write 39.587. So now let's begin our subtraction. 5 minus 7 we can't do. Let's borrow. So that's 15 minus 7. 15 minus 7 is 8. Now 6 minus 8 again we need to borrow. So 16 minus 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now 2 minus 5 we're going to borrow from 8 here. So that becomes 7. This becomes 10 and then 9 and 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. Let's put the point. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So what is our answer? 40.788. Question 8. What should be subtracted from 100 to give 19.29? That is, let me give a simple example again. What should I minus from this number to get, say, 3? What should I minus from this number? From 7 to give 3. Now 7 minus what will give me 3? We know 7 minus 4 will give us 3, isn't it? Now, how do we get this? When we subtract these two numbers by writing 7 first. Similarly here, what should I subtract from 100? What should I subtract to get 19.29? What should I do? I need to subtract these two numbers and I need to write 100 first. So let's do that. 100 minus, remember 100 is a whole number and for all whole numbers the point is after the number. So we are putting it there. Below this we're going to write 19.29 in the correct place. 19 will come here, 0.29. So we have arranged our numbers. Now let's make them like decimals by putting the zeros there. Now they're like decimals. Let's borrow and start the subtraction. So we borrow from here. This is 10. Okay, so that has become 0 now. 10 and 9. 10 and 9. So here 10 again and 9. And the last one is 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 2 is 7. Put the point. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 9 minus 1 is 8. So what do we have? 80.71. Question 9. What is the excess of 584.29 over 213.95? That means this number is greater than this number. The question is by how much? What does the excess means? By how much is this greater? Now again, let me take a simple example. Now suppose I say 8. By how much is 8 greater than 5? By how much is 8 greater than 5? 8 is greater than 5 by 3, isn't it? Because 5 plus 3 will give me 8. So how did I get that answer? By subtracting these two. 8 minus 5 will give me 3. So if I subtract these two, I will know by how much 8 is greater. Similarly here, 584.29, by how much is it greater than 213.95? To find that, we have to subtract the two. So let's do that. 584.29 minus 213.95. So let's subtract these two answers. So here 9 minus 5 is 4. 2 minus 9 we can't do. We're going to borrow from here. 3. Now 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. Put the point. 3 minus 3 is 0. 8 minus 1 is 7. And 5 minus 2 is 3. So what is our answer? 370.34. Question 10. Evaluate. First one. Here we have 5.4 minus 0.8 within brackets plus 2.97 minus 1.462 within brackets. So first we're going to work out what's within brackets. So let's do that. 5.4 minus 0.8. So let's subtract this. 4 is smaller than 8. So we're going to borrow from here. So this becomes 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. And put the point and then we write 4. So this is 4.6. So we can write that here. 4.6 plus. Now we're going to work out this. 2.97 minus 1.462. So we've written the numbers. Now we have to add the 0 to make them like decimals. Now let's start our subtraction. 0 minus 2 you can't do, so we borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. 6 minus 6 is 0. 9 minus 4 is 5. Put the point. 2 minus 1 is 1. So here we have 1.508. So now we just need to add up these two. So let's add up 4.6 and 1.508. So let's add up. So we've arranged our numbers. Let's add the zeros to make them like decimals. 0 plus 8 is 8. Then we have 0. 6 plus 5 is 11. Put the point, carry 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6.108. So this is our first answer, 6.108. Question 2, we have 6.25 plus 0.36 minus 17.2 minus 8.97. So first let's work out what's within brackets here. So here we have 6.25 plus 0.36. So let's add this up. 5 plus 6 is 11, carry 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Put the point. So here we have 6. So this is 6.61. So that's the first thing. 6.61 minus, now let's add up, subtract these two numbers. So that is 17.2 minus 8.97. So first thing is you arrange your numbers. Second, you make them like decimals and start your work. So here it is subtraction. 0 minus 7 you can't do. So I'm going to borrow from here. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now 1 minus 9 we can't do. So we're going to borrow from here. So this becomes 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Put the point. Now 6 minus 8 you can't do. So we're going to borrow again. So this becomes 0 and this is 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. So here we have minus 8.23. So what are our numbers? Our numbers are 6.61 minus 8.23. So as you can see, the second number is greater, isn't it? 6.61 is the first one, 8.23 is the second one. So let's follow rules of integers, which says when signs are different, put the sign of the bigger number. So in your answer, you will have minus. Now subtract these two numbers. So let's subtract 8.23. So here we write 8.23 first and 6.61 below that second. Okay. So now let's subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 6 you can't do, so we're going to borrow from here 7. 12 minus 6 is 6. And we have 7 minus 6 is 1. 1.62. So let's write our answer here. Minus 1.62. So this is our final answer. Remember, when you see signs that are different, you have to follow this rule. Put the sign of the bigger number and do normal subtraction by putting the greater number first. So this is our answer. Question 3. So here we have 9.004 plus 3 minus 2.462. So let's do this subtraction. Remember, in BODMAS, we have to do what's within brackets first. So let's do that. 3 is a whole number, so the point comes after the whole number. Below this, let's write 2.462 minus. Now let's subtract this. So we have arranged them. Now let's make them like decimals. Put 3 zeros. They've all become like decimals. Now let's begin the subtraction. We need to borrow from 3. 3 becomes 2. Now this is 10, 9, 10, 9 and 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. Put the point. 2 minus 2 is 0. So what do we have? 0.538. So let's write this. So 9.004 plus 0.538. We need to add up these two numbers. So let's begin that addition. 9.004 plus 0.538. 4 plus 8 is 12. Carry 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. And here we have 5. 9 plus 0 is 9. So here our answer is this 9.542. Next one. Here also we have 879.4 minus a few numbers within brackets and the operation is subtraction. So first we need to remove our brackets by working out what is within that. So 87.94 minus 8. Put it in the right place. 8.794. So now let's make them like decimals. 0 there. And now let's do 0 minus 4 you can't do. So I'm going to borrow. So this becomes 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. And then we have 3 minus 9. Again, we can't do that. We're going to borrow from here. So this becomes 8. 13 minus 9. 13 minus 9 is 4. 8 minus 7 is 1. Put the point. Now 7 minus 8 you can't do, so we borrow again. So 17 minus 8. 17 minus 8 is 9. And then we bring down 7. So here what do we have? 79.146. So let's write that down. So first we have 879.4 minus what we got just now. That is 79.146. So let's do that subtraction here. 879.4 minus 79.146. Now let's make them like decimals. Put the 2 zeros. Let's begin our subtraction. 0 minus 6 you can't do. Let's borrow all the way from 3. So this is 10, 9 and 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. Put the point. 9 minus 9 is 0. 7 minus 7 is 0. And here we have 8. So what do we have? 800.254. Let's write out our answer. 800.254 is our final answer. What is the excess of 75 over 48.29? That means 75 is more than this. By how much is it more? Let me give you a simple example. By how much is 5 more than 2? By how much is 5 more than 2? It is 3 more than 2. How did we get that? By subtracting these two. When you subtract 5 minus 2, you will know by how much 5 is more than 2. Similarly, by how much is 75 more than 48.29? We have to subtract the 2, then we'll know. So let's begin. 75 is a whole number, so let's put a point after that. So we have 75 point. We can add the zeros soon. Now let's write 48.29. Now we are going to subtract these two. So to subtract, remember, we need to put our zeros to make them like decimals. Now let's subtract. 0 minus 9 you can't do. We'll borrow from 5. So that is 4. This is 10, 9 and 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 2 is 7. Put the point. Now here 4 minus 8 you can't do. So let's borrow from here. So 14 minus 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. And then 6 minus 4 is 2. So what do we have? 26.71. So our final answer here is 26.71. Question 12. If A is equal to 237.98 and B is equal to 83.47, we have to find two answers. First one, find A minus B. Second, find B minus A. So let's begin with the first one. So the first one is A minus B. So A, we are going to substitute the value of A, which is 237.98. 237.98 minus B, which is 83.47. 83.47. So let's do the subtraction. 237.98 minus 83. Let's write 83 in the right place. 0.47. Let's do the subtraction now. Now there's no need to add zeros because they're already like decimals. 8 minus 7 is 1. 9 minus 4 is 5. Put the point. 7 minus 3 is 4. Now 3 minus 8 we have to borrow. So this becomes 1 and 13. 13 minus 8 is 5 and then we have 1. So what do we have? 154.51. So that is the answer to A minus B. 154.51. Now we have to do B minus A. So let's do B minus A. Again, substitute the value. Here for B, it is 83.47 minus A is 237.98. So we have to subtract these numbers. Now, as you can see, signs are different. So we're going to put the sign of the bigger number, which is subtraction, minus sign, and we're going to subtract by putting the greater number first. And the greater number is 237.98. And as you can see, we've already done that, isn't it? 237.98 we've written first and 83.47 we've written second and subtracted and we've got our answer. So we need to write this answer. That is 154.51. The only difference is we have a minus sign here. Question 13. The cost of 1 kg of sugar increases from 28.47 rupees to 32.65 rupees. Find the increase in cost. It means you're saying 1 kg of sugar was this price first. Then it has increased to this price. Now we need to find out the increase. How much has increased from here? By how much has it increased to 32.65? So let's begin our statements as a word problem. The cost of 1 kg of sugar given to us is 28.47 rupees. Okay, now the increased cost, that means the new cost, is 32 rupees and 65 paisa. That means these two, this is increased from 28 rupees to 32. Now by how much has it increased? What is the increase in cost? To find that, we have to subtract 32.65 minus 28.47. So when we subtract these two, we will get our answer. So let's do that. 32.65 minus 28.47. Now here, we need to borrow here. So this will become 5 and this is 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 5 minus 4, 1. Put the point. Now here again we need to borrow. So here this becomes 2 and this is 12. 12 minus 8 is 4 and here we have 0. So the increase in cost is 4 rupees and 18 paisa. This is the amount by which the cost of 1 kg of sugar has increased. So this is our final answer. So with this, children, we come to the end of this exercise. Thank you, children.